What's up, fellas? Happy Monday. Man, I feel like I've been doing a lot of videos lately. Oh, speaking of frequency of videos, I have to give you another reminder that'll disappoint my YouTube listeners and viewers, but will make my Patreon listeners and viewers happy. But there's going to be at least 2 months, possibly 3, but minimum 2 months for the remainder of the year where I'm only going to do Patreon exclusive content. I won't be doing uploading any video podcast for the general YouTube public to see. And that will be next month, April. Yeah, so you will not see me on YouTube for the entire month of April, or at least the first 4 weeks. I might do a video on April 29th or April 30th, but at minimum, the first 28 days of April, because again, I did this last year. Last year, there was at least 3 periods where I went like 3 to 4 weeks without doing any YouTube videos. Last year, I remember one was between mid-July and mid-August. The entire month of May. And if there was one other period, was between roughly mid-December and early January. Mid-December and early January. I didn't do any YouTube videos. So those were the 3 periods. But yeah, the entire month of April, or almost the entire month of April, I won't be doing any YouTube videos. And the second month, I know for sure, would be September. September of this year, I won't be doing any videos. Other than Patreon exclusive videos. Okay. Now, obviously, for better or for worse, and I say that emphatically, for better or for worse, I pay attention to comments made in my comment section. I paid attention to if somebody talks about me and maybe some other YouTube channels that I might be familiar with, or of course when people mention my name on other YouTube podcasts. And I've expressed this before, man, about under the category of pet peeves. One of my biggest pet peeves, man, is when people misquote me or distort things I say. I can't stand that, man. Can't stand when people misquote me or distort things I say. There's one podcast host in particular who's done that very frequently. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say his name. First I was going to say, I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to say his name. Mumia Obsidian Ali, man. And I've told him that directly, man. He has a very bad habit of misquoting me. He's done that, I would say, over the last, roughly 2 years, he's probably done that at least a half a dozen times, where he's misquoted me or distorted something I said. I give you one of the last examples he did that. He said on one of his podcasts that I said that, what was his misquote of me? Just a month or 2 ago, he had a misquote of me. Oh, he said that I told my listeners and viewers on my channel that I have benefited from black female fuckery. Matter of fact, I did a video about that. I'll put it in the comment section. I did a response to that. Hey, man, he blatantly misquoted me. I never said that. I never said that I've benefited from black female fuckery or the fuckery of black women. I never said that. I said that I benefited from women's true sexual nature. That's what I said. I said I had benefited from women's true sexual nature in those instances where I was a woman's other man. I basically said I benefited from women's true sexual nature. But I never specifically said I benefited from black female fuckery or the fuckery of black women. I never said that. But yet, on his channel, he said I said that. And so anyway, the most recent, there's been about 2 to 3 misquotes of me in just the last few days. at minimum 2, as many as 3 misquotes of me in the last few days that I've seen either people make in my comment section, somebody made in somebody else's comment section, or somebody made on a podcast on their channel. Number 1 misquote. Somebody quoted me as saying that I'm in total defense of R. Kelly having sex with underage women, and that I feel bad that he's been accused of having sex with women who are 17 years of age or older, or younger, I should say, or younger. False. That's false. That is false. I never said that. I never said that. I don't defend anybody, any grown man who has sex with girls who are 17 years of age or younger. Let me make that perfectly clear. I don't defend any man who's having sex with girls that are 17 years of age or younger. Among other reasons, it's against the law. I don't endorse illegal activities. One thing you know about me, man, I don't endorse illegal activities. I'll give you a perfect example, tricking. You know, a lot of people, since I've been on YouTube, have asked me my opinion on tricking. And if you pay close attention, what's literally the number one reason why I always say I would never fully endorse tricking? I would never fully endorse it. I say because, among other reasons, it's illegal. In most cities, in most countries, tricking is illegal. Now, most heterosexual men know how to get around that and circumvent that. So there's definitely fairly easy ways to circumvent getting around the illegalities of tricking. But the fact of the matter is, tricking is illegal. On paper, that's technically illegal. That's considered solicitation for prostitution. Anytime you offer to pay a woman directly for her sexual companionship, directly, for example, you approach a woman and say, I'll give you $75 if you suck my dick. Even if that woman is not a street prostitute, not a professional call girl, or not an upscale erotic escort, even if she doesn't fall in one of those 3 categories, that is technically solicitation for prostitution, which is illegal in this country with the exception of a few counties in the state of Nevada. That's the only where it's legal. It's like 2 or 3 counties in the state of Nevada where you can openly offer women money for sexual companionship. But in every other state, that's illegal. So that's why I never endorse. I don't endorse anything that's illegal. Just like smoking weed. A lot of people, smoke weed. But in most cities, counties, and states, that's illegal. They've recently made it legal in some cities, counties, and states. But for by and large, it's illegal. So yeah, Alan Raj Currie never endorses or condones anything that's against the law. Even if I might not agree with it being against the law, I don't ever fully endorse or condone any activity that's against the law. So no, I never defended R. Kelly for having sex with underage women, and I never specifically said that I feel bad that he's been accused of having sex with underage women. The thing where I said I empathize for him is mainly 2 areas. Number 1, there's some women he's had sex with that were 18 years of age or older that people have been criticizing him for and saying that he almost insinuating that he kidnapped these women and held them against their will. That's the part of it that I think is bullshit. That's no one thing. That's the part of it I think is bullshit. If the women he had sex with, for the women he had sex with that were 18 years of age or older, that's his right to do. It's his right to have sex with a woman that's 18 years of age or older. I don't care how big the age difference is. He could be 52 years old and the woman could be 18, 19, or 20. That's legal. I know a lot of men, as I talked about in my very last video, there's a lot of men, particularly men who are fathers of daughters, who don't like the idea of an 18, 19, 20-year-old girl, young woman, having sex with a guy who's 40 years of age or older. But my attitude is, get out your feelings. That's my basic attitude. and I don't want to rehash my very last video, but my attitude is get out your feelings with that shit. Once a girl is 18, even if she's still in high school. Let me repeat that. Even if a girl is still in high school, if she's experienced her 18th birthday, she is free to have sex with any man she chooses to have sex with. I don't care if that guy's 75 years old. She could choose to have sex with that man. Legally. So that's the one thing I said. I said for the women he had sex with that are 18 years of age or older, I don't think he should be criticized for that or slammed by the media for that. Like Gayle King, for example. Again, I talked about all this in the last video, but Gayle King was trying to slam him for having sex with women in their early to mid 20s. Fuck that. Like I said in my last video, I had sex with a girl. When I was 54 a couple years ago, when I was in Orlando, Florida in 2017, I had sex with a young woman that was as young as 22 years old. That's the youngest I've ever had sex with. She was 22 and I was 54. So you're talking about what, 32-year difference. I've had sex with a number of women who've been in the like 28 to 39 range. 28 to 39 range. But anyway, that was my first thing I said about R. Kelly. Oh, and along with that, I said, for people who saying he almost tried to imply or insinuate that he's damn near kidnapped women and held them against their will, I think most, if not all of that, is bullshit. I think most, if not all of that, is bullshit. And then the final other thing in relation to R. Kelly that I said is that, I didn't say it so much on my channel, but I said this in my interview with O'Shea Duke Jackson about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I worked in the entertainment industry. I worked in Hollywood, man. I know the inner workings of Hollywood. I know how the people roll in Hollywood, man. Man, there's a lot of, I don't like to discuss things where I have to bring race into the issue, but I'm going to bring race into the issue, man. Remember a movie I recommended that y'all see? Eyes Wide Shut? Even though that doesn't directly deal with the entertainment industry, but if you haven't seen the movie Eyes Wide Shut, you need to see the movie Eyes Wide Shut. You need think about the title of that movie for starters. Eyes Wide Shut. Think about the title of that movie. Eyes Wide Shut. What do you think that means? Eyes Wide Shut. Let me turn on. I know I'm about to get a notification, so I always forget this. Think about just the title. Eyes Wide Shut. I'll give you some example. Let's say you were, speaking of underage girls, let's say you were witness to some of your friends or acquaintances engaging in date rape on a semi-regular basis, and just people in general engaging in inappropriate, unethical, or illegal behavior on a regular, semi-regular basis. And you weren't really saying anything about that. You were witnessing it. You were an eyewitness to it. But if nothing else, you were just keeping it to yourself. Figuratively speaking, that would mean your eyes are wide shut. In other words, you're witnessing wrongdoing, but you're damn near treating it like it's normal. That's essentially what that phrase means, eyes wide shut, is when you're witnessing wrongdoing, inappropriate behavior, unethical behavior, and even more so illegal behavior, and you're not really reacting to it. You're not saying anything about it. You're just basically like, it's happening. So what? I mean, figuratively speaking, that means your eyes are wide shut. They're open, but they might as well be closed because, what's that saying about if you see wrongdoing happening and you don't try to stop it or you don't say anything about it, it's almost like you're an accessory to that wrongdoing. It's almost like you're an accessory to that wrongdoing. If you witness an acquaintance of yours beating up an old lady and taking her purse and you just watch it happen without, at least trying to report it to the authorities, what does that say about you and your character? You might be passing judgment on the acquaintance of yours that you see doing the wrongdoing. You might think, well, that's just them in the wrong. But the fact that you're witnessing it and you're not saying anything or trying to stop it, what does that say about you? Anyway, Eyes Wide Shut is a good movie, man, because what it shows, without getting too lengthy, too detailed, is that what's my number one thing on my YouTube channel when I'm trying to enlighten you guys, particularly you younger guys who I feel are, as they say, wet behind the ears. You always hear me say, wake up, fellas. Wake up. Wake up. You always hear me say that. Wake up. The real world is not like what they try to present to you on the Disney network or in most of these mainstream TV shows and movies. You got to look behind the curtains, man. The world is a devious place, man. The world is a scandalous place, man. There's a lot of people indulging in sexually inappropriate behavior, unethical behavior, and even illegal behavior on a daily basis, man, that y'all just don't know about. Real talk. And I hate to pick on my former industry, the entertainment industry, but come on, man, the entertainment industry, man. Man, I'm going to break it down like this. One of the main reasons why a lot of older men, let's say 40 years of age or older, one of the reasons why a lot of older men have a powerful ambition to want to be wealthy, famous, and powerful and influential. Wealthy, famous, and probably most importantly out of the three, powerful and influential, is so that they can get away with shit that the normal person wouldn't be able to get away with. That's literally one of the number one things that drives a lot of middle-aged and older men to want one or more of those three things, and particularly power and influence. Wealth, fame, and power and influence. Because it puts you in a position to potentially get away with shit. Why do you think you have so many scandals, like political scandals, political sex scandals, or scandals in the entertainment industry among celebrities and stuff? Why do you think you have so many scandals, man? Because that's the fucking reason why those people want to be in that position. One of the reasons why a lot of men want to be wealthy, famous, powerful, and influential is so that they can have sex with underage girls and get away with the shit. That's why a lot of politicians want power and influence, so they can do shit like that and get away with it. And that's why that party that Tom Cruise finds himself at in the movie Eyes Wide Shut, that's a powerful scene, man. If anybody's seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. His life was in danger after he left that party. His life was in danger after he left that party. Again, I used this analogy before, but I'm going to use it for you to bring it home to you. Imagine you were in Tom Cruise's position, and you were at this high-powered party that you really weren't supposed to be at. You weren't really invited, but you found a way to sneak into this party. And you saw high-ranking U.S. senators at this party. You saw high-ranking U.S. senators at this party. You saw heads of the FBI and the CIA at this party. You saw men who were, I don't know, governors, mayors and governors, just really a lot of powerful people at this party having sex with women. Some of them were probably underage, 15, 16, 17 years old. Wouldn't that just totally shatter you? I mean, honestly, wouldn't it? Wouldn't you be like, damn, the people who are most in charge of making sure that other people abide by the law are breaking the law themselves? That would fuck you up. I know some of y'all might say, oh, that wouldn't trip me out. I bet it would. If you saw the people who were hired by this country to be responsible for enforcing the law breaking the law, that would more than likely fuck you up. But the shit happens. The shit happens, man. Come on, man. Don't be naive. There's motherfuckers who are the chief of police that have been caught snorting cocaine, which is against the law. And they're the chief of police. There's people who are on the police force that have stolen money when they're supposed to be preventing people from stealing money. That's how this life works, man. That's the real fucking world, man. Hypocrisy at its best. Or worse, however you want to look at it. Imagine if you worked for an organization that was all for the prevention of human sex trafficking and the prevention of sexual assault and statutory rape, but you was indulging in that very behavior yourself. Or you knew somebody who was. You would be like, what the fuck? And worst case scenario, that might just traumatize you for life. You would no longer have any belief in ethics anymore. Because you'd be like, all these people who are supposed to be in positions to prevent unethical and illegal behavior, they're indulging in the shit themselves. So why the fuck should I be Mr. Good Citizen? Why should I be a law-abiding citizen when the people who are hired and paid to enforce the law are breaking the law themselves? I could do a 10-hour documentary just on this subject alone. But anyway, going back to R. Kelly, I'm not exonerating. No, well, first of all, I have to point out, I pointed this out. I was interviewed on Friday by a brother named Gab. Great, he's a great guy, man. He's just a great brother, man. I enjoyed that interview. I'll put the link in the comment section. But one thing I pointed out while Gab was interviewing me, I said, man, a lot of people have been calling R. Kelly a rapist and a pedophile. A rapist and a pedophile. As far as I know, he ain't been convicted by no court of law of being a pedophile. If he has, enlighten me. He ain't been convicted of being of raping women. If he has, enlighten me. I don't like the idea of people assuming you're guilty until proven not guilty. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of people assuming that someone is guilty until they're proven not guilty. It's supposed to be the other way around. They're supposed to always assume that someone is not guilty until they're convicted of being guilty of a crime. That's how this country is supposed to roll. That's how the world is supposed to roll. You're supposed to always give somebody the benefit of the doubt and assume that they're not guilty until it's proven beyond a reasonable doubt that someone is guilty. Because, see, I did a video last year, about a year ago, when I was talking about the whole Me Too movement, and I did a video about don't get laid where you get paid. Man, I've been lied about before, man. I've been lied, at least 2 working situations I've been lied about. I don't want to go in detail about them, but one was when I was living in Los Angeles, I was once accused, when I was working for a cell phone company, I was once accused by a customer of expressing harsh homophobic remarks and disparaging remarks about lesbians when it was a lie. This woman like blatantly lied about me, man. She blatantly lied about me. Like, she wrote this letter to my district manager, and it was probably like, I would divide it into thirds. It was 1/3 true, 1/3 half truths and distorted facts, and 1/3 just blatant lies. And shit, man, I've never been that pissed in my fucking life, man. If you all out there have never had somebody just blatantly lie about you to the point where it costs you your job, man, I don't wish that on nobody. Because it'll leave you... For a brother like me, who's known for having a temper at times, it made me want to pick up a piece and take care of some business, if you know what I'm saying. That's how angry I was. It made me want to get my own retribution. This bitch fucking lied about me, man. That's why I don't trust shit that people say about shit. Like, a lot of people, as soon as somebody's accused of something, they'll say, oh, I know he did it. Oh, I know she did it. I don't, man. I always try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Because I've been lied about before. I had one other job I told you about. And I will confess a little bit of guilt on this second situation. I let a woman suck my dick at work one time, on work premises. So, in that respect, I was wrong for doing that. I should have exercised better judgment. I let a woman suck my dick on work premises. And then what happened is her big mouth ass went and told her female boss, who she thought she was cool with. You know, they had like a real close relationship. And I guess she thought she could tell her shit like that. She told her female boss that she sucked my dick. And the female boss told the main head boss what happened. And where she changed the story is once she realized she was in trouble for telling that story, she tried to make it seem like I forced her to suck my dick. Instead of her admitting that she willingly and enthusiastically and voluntarily sucked my dick, she tried to twist the details a little bit to make it seem like I twisted her arm, pretty much forced her to suck my dick. That's the second time I lost my job about somebody lying about me, but the consolation prize, so did she. The woman who sucked my dick, she lost her job too. So it still didn't make up for the fact that I lost my job, but at least it wasn't one-sided. Because, yeah, the chick who sucked my dick, she lost her job too. So that's the two situations, man, where I got fired from a job because somebody lied about me. Oh, the consolation in the first situation, I actually had a consolation in the first situation too. I had to go to a wrongful termination hearing sponsored by the unemployment, state of California unemployment. And I defeated not one, but two high-powered attorneys. My father was very proud of that. Damn, I can't talk about that. I'll get choked up. Because my father said that was one of his proudest moments of me. He actually suggested I should go to law school at that point. Yeah, I beat two high-powered attorneys from a attorney organization called Arthur Anderson. And I represented myself. I didn't have an attorney. I had the option to get an attorney, but I couldn't afford one. So I represented myself in the hearing, and I defeated him to the point where it didn't, on the negative end, it didn't cause me to get my job back, but at least I was able to continue receiving unemployment benefits. And it went on record that I pretty much got fired unfairly because that woman lied. Because the main key thing was I subpoenaed two of my coworkers, and they testified that I had the woman smiling, giggling. She was flirting with me and, playfully slapping me on my shoulder and stuff. So anyway, so that was my consolation in that first scenario. So anyway, here I go rambling again. I admit I did some degree of rambling, but it started out with me talking about R. Kelly. I'm tired of people misquoting me. I never defended him for having sex with underage women, assuming he did have sex with women who were 17 years of age or younger. I never defended him for that. I just feel like there's a lot of people, and again, to bring race into the issue, burp number one. There's a lot of powerful, influential, wealthy white men who have done things just as bad, if not worse, than what R. Kelly is accused of doing. And they've never, the Me Too movement is changing a lot of that. So you can't say the Me Too movement has changed a lot of that. But before the Me Too movement, they used to just get away with that behavior scot-free, without penalty or consequence. They used to just get away with that behavior, man. I know the stories again in Hollywood, man. There's a lot of motherfuckers who worked in Hollywood. They used to get away with murder, man. Sometimes literally. Sometimes literally get away with murder. There's a reason why that's an adage, a phrase, a long-standing phrase. That person got away with murder. That ain't just a figure of speech. There's some people in this country and all over the world who've gotten away with murder. particularly wealthy, powerful, influential people who've literally gotten away with murder. So that's both a figurative saying and a literal saying. Anyway, I can talk about that type of shit all day, all night. Second misquote somebody had of me, and this has been frequent, I've experienced on my channel. Somebody said, Alan, when they would quote me, they say, yeah, I agree with Alan, man. All women are promiscuous and polyamorous, or all women are cheaters, unfaithful cheaters, and adulterers. I never said that. I never said that. I appreciate the spirit in which people want to feel like they're quoting me. And I guess they want to feel like they're co-signing with that sentiment. But I never said all women are unfaithful to their husbands, fiancés, and boyfriends. And I never said that all women do indulge in promiscuous and or polyamorous behavior. I never said that. What I said is that no woman is born. No woman is born with a biological predisposition towards strict monogamy. That's what I said. No woman is born with a biologically influenced predisposition towards strict monogamy. In other words, put another way, there are a percentage of women in society that are faithfully monogamous to their husbands, faithfully monogamous to their fiancés, and faithfully monogamous to their long-term boyfriends. But it's not because it's in their biological DNA to be that way. That's the point I always make. It's not a part of their biological DNA to be faithfully monogamous. It's just that those women are adhering to their social programming. They're adhering to the brainwashing that's been done by their parents and other influential people in their life, such as people at their church. They've done such an exceptional job of adhering to their social programming that they've avoided. They've had the discipline, the self-control and self-discipline to avoid giving into the temptation to cheat on their husband, to cheat on their fiance, or to cheat on their long-term boyfriend. See, in a nutshell, that's basically what seduction is, which is what I teach. In simple terms, when you seduce a woman, particularly a woman who's in a relationship that's married or engaged to be married or has a long-term boyfriend, when you seduce a woman, what you're doing, among other things, is you're persuading a woman to go against her social programming and give in to her true sexual nature. See, a lot of men thought it was just the opposite. A lot of men think when you seduce a woman, say, into having casual sex, or seduce a woman into cheating on her man, that you're persuading a woman to go against her true nature and deviate from that. No, I'm saying just the opposite. See, a lot of men thought a woman's true nature was to be strictly monogamous, and they thought that to seduce a woman is to get a woman to go against her true nature. No, it's just the opposite. When you seduce a woman, you're persuading a woman to go against her social programming and give in to her true sexual nature. That's what I do. When I seduce women, I persuade them to ignore their brainwashing, their social programming, and instead tune into their inner animal instinct, their core animal instinct, and give in to their true sexual nature. That's what I feel like my lips are chapped. That's what I do when I seduce a woman. That's really, if you do your research on the term seduction, that's basically what it means to seduce someone. Yeah. In real simple terms, that's what it means, seduction of any sort. Seduction is when you get somebody to go against their normal morals, values, and ethics and their normal social programming and give in to their more raw, base desires, lustful desires. That's what it means to seduce someone. And if I say so myself, 90% of the time, I'm a master at that shit. I know how to get a woman to tune in to her most raw, base, lustful desires. So that's what seduction is. So I never said that all women are going to be promiscuous, all women are going to indulge in polyamory. I never said that. I never said that. But I will say this, I do believe all women have the potential. I believe all women on earth have the potential to be promiscuous and or polyamorous, if only for a short, limited period of time. Why do you think you have women who experience what's known as buyer's remorse? I'm sure a lot of you in the manosphere have heard that term, buyer's remorse or next day guilt or next day regret. That's why you have a lot of women who will falsely charge a man with date rape and things of that nature. That's why you have women who do that. Like they'll have sex with a man, say on Friday night, and then that next Monday, they'll end up accusing that man of date rape, and the guy be like, hey, I didn't date rape that woman. Why is she accusing me of date rape? Because a lot of women, they have what's known as buyer's remorse or next day guilt or next morning regret. And the reason why that happens is, let's say I meet a woman named Michelle. And this woman normally, like say 98 to 99% of the time, she always adheres to her social programming. And say I meet her on a Friday night and I seduce her in such a way that I, figuratively speaking, temporarily disable her social programming. I temporarily disable her social programming. And she ends up giving me the pussy or sucking my dick or whatever. Let's say that's all happening on Friday night. Well, here's what has the potential to happen in some cases. On Saturday or Sunday, she might be laying in her bed thinking, damn, I've never done that before. I've never let a man just get my pussy so wet to the point where it made me just want to ignore my social programming. But now that it's Saturday or Sunday, she's back to adhering to her normal social programming. So she feels guilty. And now she might feel paranoid that, damn, Alan Roger Currie might go ahead and tell a bunch of his friends that I'm a slut or I'm a hoe. And I don't want that. So I got to find a way to protect my image and reputation. I got it. I'm going to accuse that motherfucker of forcing me to have sex. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say he got me drunk and I didn't know what I was doing. Or at minimum, I'm going to tell people that he told me he was falling in love with me and I believed him. Or some whatever other bullshit excuse I can think of to protect my image and reputation. Why do you think I'm all about Mode 1, man? Why do you think I always say, man, I don't believe in having sex with women, particularly the very first time while they're sloppy drunk or have alcohol or drugs in their system? Plausible deniability. Why I don't believe in lying to women and misleading them and toying with their emotions. You give them plausible deniability. I don't want to give any woman plausible deniability at all. Because that just makes it easier for her to falsely accuse you of shit. Because I'm telling you this, man, all of y'all know this already, man. A woman is going to go out of her way to try to protect her image and reputation. No woman wants to be called a slut or just a flat out hoe. Well, there's some women who don't care. That's what I call in my book, who said again, a one. A woman who's what I call a number one, she don't give a fuck what people say about her in society. She gonna fuck who she wanna fuck, and she don't care if she gets criticized for it or has people pass judgment on her for it. She don't give a fuck. But most women, man, they care about their reputation. Why do they care? And you guys, 99% of y'all should know this already. Why do women care about their image and reputation? And why they don't want to be labeled a slut or a hoe? Because in simple terms, once a woman gains a public reputation for being a slut or a whore, it's actually both a positive and a negative. On the positive end, it actually enhances the appeal of a woman's sexual companionship. When a woman gets labeled a whore or slut, it's probably going to make more men want to fuck her. So in that sense, it's going to enhance the appeal and value of her sexual companionship. But on the exact opposite end, it's going to significantly diminish the appeal of her non-sexual attention and companionship. Once a woman gets labeled a slut, man, most men are going to say to themselves, I ain't going to spend no time with her non-sexually. I'll spend time with her just to fuck her. But as far as just like hanging out with her at the bowling alley or spending a significant amount of time with her non-sexually, I ain't doing that shit. Shit, she's a hoe. She's a slut. Why should I spend any time with her non-sexual? And women love men's non-sexual time, attention, and companionship. You've heard me beat that in your heads. Women love that shit. That's like crack cocaine to a woman. It's a man's non-sexual time, attention, and companionship. Women hate to be ignored. The vast majority of women, with the exception of maybe lesbians, I even say lesbians. Lesbians even love men's non-sexual attention and companionship. A lot of them do. Women love men's non-sexual time, attention, and companionship. And that's the main reason. That's the number one reason why no woman wants to be labeled a slut or a hoe, a tramp, or anything similar to that. Easy lay. They don't want that type of label because it diminishes the value and appeal of their non-sexual companionship. So women are going to fiercely, let me repeat that. Most women are going to fiercely seek to protect their public image and reputation. They're going to fiercely seek to protect their public image and reputation. So anyway, that was the second misquote. I never said that all women will definitely indulge in promiscuous and or polyamorous behavior. I said if the close thing I came to saying that is I said, I do believe all women have the potential to indulge in promiscuous and or if they run across the right man with the right psychological and verbal seduction skills. I do believe that. I will say that, so you can quote me on that. I believe all women, if they run across the right guy on the right day at the right time, who has A+ level psychological and verbal seduction skills, high degree of persuasive charm, and that woman finds him physically attractive and sexually appealing, there's probably a 90 to 99% chance she's going to give in to that motherfucker. That's why most women, what they do is they try to prevent themselves from being in a situation where they even are remotely tempted. Like they don't even want to put themselves in a position where they even left alone with a guy who can tempt them to give in to their true sexual nature. That's what a lot of women do. They avoid putting themselves in a position where they can even be tempted to give in to their true sexual nature. And then the final misquote. The final misquote. Well, no, is this a miss? Oh, yeah, final misquote. I saw some men in my comment section, and I ended up deleting a lot of these comments. I saw some men saying, so man, I've lost respect for Alan Currie because he's saying that if you're an alpha male, you got to share your woman's pussy with other men. Man, I don't agree with that shit. Shit, as far as I'm concerned, that means you really beta and you really a cuckold, man. Ain't no alpha male going to knowingly and willingly share his woman's pussy with other men. That's bullshit. But Alan Currie said in order to be an alpha male, you have to share your woman's pussy with other men. Insert dog face here. Man, y'all need to listen to my words more carefully. Again, that's one of my pet peeves, man. I hate when people distort my words and blatantly misquote me. Number one, I never said that it is a mandatory prerequisite to share a woman's pussy in order to be classified or labeled as an alpha male. I never said that. And I had at least a handful, not too many, but I had at least 4 or 5 guys coming in my comment section and suggested I did say that. I never said that. I never said that in order to qualify as an alpha male, you have to share your wife's pussy or fiance's pussy or girlfriend's pussy with another man. I never said that. What you got confused is I brought up an article, a blog article that a guy wrote named Carl E. Stevens Jr., who also goes by the name Rakim Saku. He wrote a blog article where he said the only men who are egotistically secure enough to share pussy are alpha males. He said beta males are too egotistically insecure to knowingly share pussy with other men. My lips. I'm sorry. I apologize. Lips are chapped. Sorry about that. Happens a lot in the wintertime. But, so no, I never said it was a mandatory prerequisite requirement, a mandatory requirement that you have to share your wife's pussy, your fiance's pussy, or your long-term girlfriend's pussy with another man in order to qualify as an alpha male. I never said that. But here's what I did say and will say. If you're a true alpha male, you fully understand women's true sexual nature. You truly understand women's true sexual nature to the point where you understand, related to what I just said a few minutes ago. You understand that if you let's say you are married and you're engaged to be married or you got a girlfriend, when you're an alpha male, you understand that if that woman runs into the right guy on the right day at the right time, and that motherfucker got A+ verbal seduction skills, like I do, that there's a 90 to 99% chance she gonna give up that pussy. Believe that shit. She gonna give up that pussy. She gonna give up that pussy. And if you don't believe that, you're naive and delusional. You're naive and delusional. And the thing I pointed out in two or three videos ago is this, man. If you're having sex with any woman that's not a virgin, you done shared that pussy. You might not be sharing it right now, this very moment, but you've shared that pussy. It's just like if you buy a used car, that means that car has been driven by somebody else. You might not have another motherfucker driving your car with you right now, but just the fact that it's a used car or certified pre-owned car means that car has had at least one owner before you. Okay? Do you get that? If you're having sex, if you're married to any woman that's not a virgin, if you're engaged to any woman that's not a virgin, if your long-term girlfriend is not a virgin, guess what? She done had another motherfucker's dick in her mouth and in her pussy. So if you go to certain social events, guess what? The wife you love is going to always have at least one or more motherfuckers that if they happen to be at that party with you, going to be able to say, I used to fuck that bitch. I used to fuck that bitch. That bitch used to suck my dick. I used to fuck her in the ass. What you gonna do then? Huh? Y'all better quit being naive and delusional. Any pussy that's not virgin pussy is shared pussy. Again, you might not be actively sharing it at this moment, at this specific moment in time. But if she's fucked another motherfucker, particularly if that motherfucker who she used to fuck was more satisfying than you, trust me, that motherfucker left his stamp on that pussy. Believe that shit. He left his stamp on that pussy. I know I heard Ron Wills and BGS Immoral, they had this thing a couple years ago, they talking about the womb imprint. The womb imprint. I've never used that terminology myself, but I've always used the simple term stamp. Some guy, hey man, here's the two guys a woman's always going to remember sexually. There's at least two guys, minimum of two guys a woman's going to always think about sexually. Her first lover and her best lover. Her first lover and her best lover. That's the two guys a woman's going to always think about. It's her first lover, even if he might have been disappointing in bed. She's going to think about her first lover, and she's going to think about her best lover. If you're not her first lover and you're not her best lover, then that means that there's always going to be at least one other man, even if you're married to this woman, engaged to this woman, or in a long-term relationship with this woman, that she's going to be thinking about in addition to your dick. Guarantee you. I guarantee you. I'd put money on it. If you're not a woman's first lover, or you're not her absolute best lover, there's always going to be another motherfucker that she's going to be thinking about that she's never going to tell you she's thinking about, but she's going to be thinking about that motherfucker. And if she was to run into that motherfucker, there's a greater than 50% chance she's going to go ahead and sleep with that motherfucker. I told you, I'll be cocky, man. I know some women right now who are married or engaged to be married or in a relationship that I know I could still get that pussy if I wanted it. I know I could. I know for a 99.99999% fact that I could still get that pussy. I know I can still get that pussy. I admitted on one of my previous videos, I got some BDSM submissives who I've never had physical sex with, although I had phone sex with them. I've never had physical sex with, but I know just by the way they talk to me and how much deference they give me, submissive deference they give me, that I could fuck them if I wanted to. I just have chosen not to. But it ain't like I couldn't fuck them. See, that's why a lot of guys, man, it's just like I saw a guy quote me in the comment section, and it was an accurate quote. One of my followers was responding to somebody else's comment, either in this section, he might have been on somebody else's channel. I think it was in my channel. But anyway, he said something to the effect, I'm with Alan, I'm with ARC. ARC has always said that if you're going to share pussy, it's better to knowingly share pussy than to unknowingly share pussy. Now, that is an accurate quote. Since people have been misquoting me, yeah, that's an accurate quote. That's the truth. I'll say this. Let's say I had a main woman, such as a girlfriend. If I had a choice between her sharing her pussy with other men or her only reserving her pussy for me, of course I would rather her only reserve her pussy for me. Of course I would. Most men would choose that option. If you're given a choice between having your wife, fiance, or long-term girlfriend share a pussy with other men or just be fully committed to you, of course you're going to choose. You would rather that the woman be fully committed to you. That's an easy choice. But if you give me a choice between these two, between a woman sharing her pussy with other men and letting me know that she is, or a woman sharing her pussy with other men and keeping it to herself, I would always rather a woman be sharing her pussy with other men and me know about it. I would always rather a woman be sharing her pussy with other men and me know about it. That's the basis for a polyamorous relationship. That's the basis for what's known as a polyamorous relationship. When you're engaged in what's known as a polyamorous relationship, that means you have, number one, it usually means you have two or more long-term lovers. Not just fuck buddies, but long. See, that's one of the differences, and this is kind of being technical. But a lot of people use these two terms interchangeably. They use the term polyamorous relationship and the term open relationship. Generally speaking, those two are essentially the same thing, but technically they're different. There's a difference between a polyamorous relationship and an open relationship. What's the difference? Open relationship would be like if I had a girlfriend, a long-term girlfriend, but I also had, say, 3 or 4 casual fuck buddies. I'm basically free to engage in a one-night stand or weekend fling with any woman I want to. And my girlfriend, same thing. I'm her man, but she's free to indulge in a one-night stand or weekend fling with other men at her discretion. That would be an open relationship. That's what's known as an open marriage or open relationship. When you have one spouse or one main romantic companion, but both of you all are free at your discretion to engage in a one-night stand here and there, a weekend fling with other people here and there, basically have other fuck buddies on the side. That's an open relationship. Polyamorous relationship is when you essentially have, like, if I had 3 long-term girlfriends, not just 3 fuck buddies, but I had 3 long-term girlfriends. Basically the unmarried version of being a polygamist. You know, being polygamous would be a married man who has 3 wives. Well, unmarried version would be if I had 3 long-term girlfriends, say they were all living with me. That's more so a polyamorous relationship. Is when you have 2 or more long-term lovers. 2 or more long-term lovers. And the somewhat difference between that and an open relationship, there are rules and guidelines to most polyamorous relationships. Like if I was in a polyamorous relationship with, say, 3 long-term lovers, they're not just free to fuck any man they want to, anytime they want to. The man, if they chose to have sex with another man, they would have to first seek my permission and my approval. They would have to seek my permission and my approval. I would have to give them explicit permission and approval to have sex with another lover. They couldn't just like go out and do it on their own. So that's the difference between polyamorous and an open relationship. Open relationship, you don't have to seek approval or permission. You're just basically afraid to fuck other people you want to fuck. But yeah, I would always, like, speaking of alpha beta, I know me and Tony Maceo, who I have a lot of love and respect for. He's a very intelligent and articulate brother. If you're not familiar with him, he's associated with a podcast channel called Max City Limits. Max City Limits. He also writes for the Negro Manosphere. Now, I agree with usually probably like 85 to 90% of stuff he says. But the last time we had a disagreement, if only a lighthearted disagreement, we had a disagreement, and I had to give him a lighthearted dog face about it, is he made a comment on one of his Back City Limits podcasts that if a woman is married and she's having sex with somebody on the side, he basically said there is no alpha and beta in that situation because they're both sharing pussy. The other man is sharing pussy with the husband, and the husband is sharing pussy with the other man. So he argued that basically there is neither one of them are truly the alpha or the beta. They're just 2 men who are sharing pussy. And I disagree with that. To me, anytime I've been the other man, I was the alpha. Even though I was sharing pussy too, I was the alpha. How do you determine who's the alpha and the beta in this situation? There's at least 2 main factors that contribute who's the alpha and who's the beta. Number 1, who is the woman most deferential towards and obedient towards, particularly as it relates to sex? Which of the 2 guys is the woman most obedient towards and most submissive to and deferential to? Whichever man she's most obedient, deferential, and submissive to, that's the alpha. That's the alpha of the 2. Number 2, who has to exchange something of tangible value for the pussy? If I'm the other man and I'm able to fuck a married woman without spending no money on her and without spending any significant amount of time with her non-sexually, but her husband has to pay her bills, he got to buy her materialistic gifts, and he got to spend a boatload of time with her non-sexually, then that means he's the beta. He's the beta. He's the beta. I'm the alpha. He's the beta. It ain't like we both on equal level. No, we're not. Because the only thing I'm exchanging for that woman's pussy is my dick. That man has exchanged something of tangible value, which automatically makes him the beta in the situation. So bottom line, man, I'd always rather, if I am going to share pussy with at least one other man, I would rather knowingly, like every time I was the other man, I knew I was sharing that woman's pussy with that woman's husband, fiance, or boyfriend. I would always rather be in a position where I'm knowingly sharing pussy than to be in a position where I'm unknowingly sharing pussy. Because technically, when you're unknowingly sharing pussy, that means you're being cuckolded. That's basically technically the definition of being cuckolded. Cuckolded is when you're unknowingly sharing your wife, fiance's, or girlfriend's pussy with multiple men. That means you're being cuckolded when you're unknowingly doing it. When she's doing it behind your back. But when you're knowingly sharing pussy, that's not cuckold. You're not a cuckold if you're knowingly sharing pussy. Because you have the choice to leave if you don't like it. You have the choice to dismiss her if you don't like it. You understand that? Get it? Got it? Good. Not sure if I'll be back with another video the rest of this week, although there's at least a 50% chance I will. But if I don't see you until next week, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm out.
Yes, sir.
Say it again.
Yes, sir.
Who's the king?
Alan, you're the king.
Say it again.
Alan, you're the king. You're dominating me.
Say it again.
Alan, you're dominating me right now. Mode 1.
Mode 1.
Daddy, can I go, please? You're the king.
Say it again.
Oh, you're the fucking king. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You're the king, Alan.
AKA the king of verbal seduction. You know, it's the tone of your voice, how seductive your intonations are, the vibrations that you could just reach out over the phone lines and stroke a woman's breast just by the sound of your voice, how you could make her pussy so wet just by the sound of your voice. That's actually very hot.
So you said my show was what?
I said your show is powerful.
Oh, say it again.
Your show is powerful.
I bet the king would fuck me really good.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie.
Oh, yeah. Who's the king?
Alan Roger Currie. The king.
The king.
The king.